Welcome everybody to another episode of The Bald Avenger. I am Jason Cisneros, also known as The Bald Avenger, the tattooed guru, baby, the king of the Misfit Nation, and a legend, bro, a legend in my own mind.
Yes.
So that's the open. So anyway, I wanted to add some value. You guys add so much value to the world. I just kind of wanted to help you guys out and add some value. It was amazing to me how many of the brothers are business owners and entrepreneurs and people who are in leadership roles, which was fantastic. And so I just wanted to, as you would ask me, just come on and add a little bit of value to people and talk a little bit about the Unstoppable brand. I just, more than anything, I want everybody to understand Unstoppable came about because most of the businesses that I build and have built in the past, I find a weakness, right? I find a weakness where that customer base or whatever it is not being served. And I always tell people in my tribe, just like you do, I hear you say it all the time, that if you don't like something, then get off your ass and go change it yourself, right? That's how I got involved with A New Dawn, with domestic violence, how, working with CERT Ministries on rescues of underage sex slaves in this world, Soap to Hope, where they're treating, prostitutes and things, that people that we just sort of trample over, look past, and to show them a little bit of love. Chemo Buddies for Life, where they're just out basically, hey, if you're going through chemo, you don't have any family, whatever, they come together around each other, right? Feed a Billion, which was the original thing that you came together around us with, and so on and so forth. But it got to a place where is a leadership conference that's interested in actually teaching leadership, right? Where is a small to mid-sized business conference that is there to teach about those things and not to sell you the next thing, right? Where are those conferences? And I have complained for like the last 5 years, right? Like the last 5 years going, what? It's all going to this, everybody's pitching from stage, which I understand. But I wanted to create something that added value first. And that is the key component for everybody that's running their own business. You have to fall in love with the outcome of your client and your employee way before you're ever going to need to fall in love with your own outcome, right? Because that's what you see. People like, I got to make money. I got to make sales. And that's why I love Live Bearded. You guys are literally the epitome. We've had these conversations for 7 years now. When you started this, the thing was just an idea in your head. I want to do something different, right? You've been successful at every business you've ever put your hands on. You've lived a life by traveling around the world. And that first tenet has always been true in your heart, which is, how do I add massive value to my customers and to my teammates right now? That's been a tenet of yours from day one. And so when you started, you and Spence came together to build this thing, you said, how can we do something different? Yeah, making money is cool. It's cool. But making a difference is cooler. And so those concepts, that's the same reason why we started to build out the Unstoppable platform, is to put real people, like you'll be on our stage, at one of our events, and real people that have made real money, that aren't out there just as a celebrity brand, but are there to offer real value to the people that are working to make money and also to make a difference, right? Anton J Global is my company. It's my consulting company. And what our main tenet is, we help good people make more money, get more time so they can do more good. Period. End of sentence. If people want to learn how to make more money just so they can have another Ferrari, cool. We don't hold it against you, but we do hold you to, we won't work with you. There's plenty of consulting companies out there to help you. So tonight, I just kind of wanted to tell the brothers, our platform of Unstoppable, it starts with the person that's looking you in the mirror. I've heard you talk about this. One of the things that stands out about you and your group is the personal responsibility that you all take to look that person, stare them in the face, and realize, hey, you know what? It's me. I'm the one that needs to change and shift before anything externally is ever going to shift. So that's really what I wanted to talk about tonight, and how you do that, how that translates into your business, is getting crystal clear with what your outcome is. So many people say that, right? It's like one of those fortune cookies. and so few. With our consulting company, we work with, Fortune 500 companies, people that graduated Harvard, Yale, Wharton School of Business, like the best of the best, most brightest business minds out there. And we ask them, what are you trying to do? Well, we're trying to go from $1 million to 1.2. Okay. Okay. But that's boring as shit, right? You just put together a little bit of a strategy, but why do you want that 1.2? What is it you're going to do? And I know that I'm speaking to the heart of the brothers in Live Bearded right now to say that they all know. And the common theme between all of y'all is that that you're put on this earth to do more than earn money and fucking sleep, right? You're here to build a grow a fucking phenomenal beard and to serve, right? And so that platform that we build has got to be aligned with who you are as a human being and not acting like you're someone else. So that's a key piece of what I see is people trying to be like someone else instead of being who they genuinely are and not being crystal clear about that outcome. Right. And go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I mean, it's so true, right? Like, and one of the things that, like, one of my personal philosophies is I am entitled to nothing, right? My life is my fault. And if I look at every area of my life, it doesn't matter whether it's my health, my relationships, my business, doesn't matter. I look at every area, everything that is going on in that area is my fucking fault.
Right.
And like you said, one of the best things that can happen when we get around other people, when we have friendships like we have, and when we work with people at high levels, what a lot of us need is a mirror. We just need to see the true reflection of what's going on and maybe where some of our blind spots are. And I know that is like my constant pursuit in life is just trying to uncover where my blind spots are so that my vision starts to get wider and wider and wider, and I can see and react to more things and ultimately add more value. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you are an employee or a manager or an independent contractor. It doesn't matter what your modality of monetization is. It doesn't matter how you make money, right? We live in a world where we all need to make money. I was just yesterday, actually, we did a 2020 like team planning session. And one of the things that we love to do is we love to sit down and say, like, what are we going to create as a team? And the one thing that we just really focus on is there has to be an exchange of value. And our entire focus is how do we add more value to our brothers, to our customers, to anybody who interacts with our brand than anyone else could possibly do. And I think that's one of the things that you and I get one of the reasons why we connect so deeply is we're both looking for how can we add more value. And for everybody who's tuning in right now, I think, this is something I've never shared with anybody outside of the team, but we literally at times will be like, okay, how can we love on our brothers even more at Live Bearded? Like, what can we do? What video can we create that's going to make them laugh? What grooming video can we produce that's going to help educate them and make them feel more confident in themselves? What story can I tell on Mink in the Morning to inspire them or to encourage them? Like, and it doesn't matter what area of your life you're talking about. Again, if it's your relationships, you guys, I so many people in this group in our private community have talked about challenges with relationships, divorces, adultery. Like, these are real things that everybody experiences. If you woke up every day and said, how can I add more value to my significant other, to my kids, to my employees, to my boss, to whatever, everything in life is going to seem easier and effortless, because the more that you give, it's the universal law, the more, reciprocity that is created. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to share this with you, because I know Jason has got a heart for contributing and a heart really just to encourage people to be the best that they can be. And I really think that anybody who wants to be unstoppable in 2020 should come hang out with us in Florida.
Yeah, it'll be good. And, this is outside of my comfort zone, right? We've never I've been a speaker all around the world on huge stages and, different people's stages and so on and so forth. So this is out of my comfort zone. And I really, I get a lot of people that tell me, Jason, you just sold all your companies and you're doing well. What are you doing? Right? Why are you doing this? And honestly, it's that, as I told you, I sold all my businesses and I was just going to do the rescues and the charity and these kind of things kind of for the rest of my life. but there's businesses that are purposely put in my wheelhouse that are changing the world that need help, right? So I have 2 new companies after I just sold all of them. And, you know, and what we're building out. And then obviously we've got the consulting company that's been around for 10 years. And Joe Callow, who, he's pretty much running that with Carlos Chavez. But at the end of the day, you know, this is outside of my comfort zone. It's not something that I really ever expected to be doing. Right. And so it's doing those things that you preach to other people so that you're in integrity, and you risk looking like an idiot, or you look, you know, whatever it is. But I know that the group of speakers that I put together and the people that have signed up to be there, these are human beings that if the rest of the world fell apart and I had just this core group of human beings, we call, you know, our family, our tribe's called Misfit Nation, you know, that we would all, that it would be fine. You know, it would be fine because we're like-minded. Not that we think alike, not that we can't. We've got black people and white people and Republicans and Democrats and gays and straights and, you know, and all of these different people that have come together around an idea that we are all individually built and born with a dream and with a purpose and a vision for what we have possible. And we're the only ones that can do it. And 99% of us die with that shit inside of us. Right? And so why Unstoppable? Why Live Bearded? Why the Brotherhood? Why do we do these things? It's because we want that 1%. We are part of that 1%. And I'm not talking about wealth or amounts of money. I'm talking about wealth of spirit, wealth of intellect, wealth of desire, regardless of, if I die broke tomorrow, my kids will look at me and go, my dad tried. You know what I'm saying? My dad gave it everything he's got. Yes, he risked his life on rescues. Yes, he did this. Yes, he did. And that's all I give a shit about, is that they see that it's the effort, right? Yes, it's about the outcome and you should be focused on it, but it's about who you have to become. And if you are here, what is today? The 15th of January, right? Yeah. If you're here on the 15th of January and you're still getting up at the same amount of time, and you are still doing the same shit at work, and you're not trying something new to satisfy your customers, and you're not doing something more to satisfy your woman, if you're still doing the same shit you did last year, I promise you, no matter how drunk you got on New Year's Eve, and you promised and you looked yourself, and we're going to do more stuff in 2020, it's not going to change, right? What has to change is those habits and those patterns so that you get something different out of it. Right? That's the hard truth. And that's what I love you guys in your brotherhood, is you guys don't have a problem hearing the truth. You don't cry about it. You're like, oh, yeah, Anthony hurt my little feelings. You know, you guys are battering yourself, and you're following a leader in Anthony and Spence who walk the walk. They eat. I've been with them. These fucking guys, like, almost called you a kid, which I think you're almost my age, but these fucking guys, they've got their food and their drinks when they wake up, and they're dialed in, and they're doing their meditation, and they're doing their work, and they're giving away portions of their revenue to charity, and you walk the walk. You talk the talk and you walk the walk.
The point that I think you're like the point that you're making is everything. It doesn't matter like where you're starting from. It doesn't matter what the scoreboard says today. It doesn't matter what mistakes you've made in the past. It all comes down to what is the mindset. What happens up here, you know? And on Mink in the Morning, one episode, I said, you know, the most important conversation you will ever have with yourself, or excuse me, the most important conversation you will ever have is with yourself. You know, in this game of life, it literally is us versus us. You know, you look in the mirror, and the person that you see staring back at you is your greatest fucking opponent. And arguably, the only thing that separates anyone from anything, as we know, is hunger, desire, and mindset. You know, and so what I love about Jason is, you know, he is the traditional, like, school of hard knocks, like, has a crazy story, jail and abuse and addiction and some crazy shit, but you know, that's why it's called Misfit Nation, because And a lot of times, in order to find out how great you are, you have to hit rock bottom. Unfortunately, that's just the path that some of us have to walk. Not all of us, but I know a lot of my brothers out there who are watching, right? You've had to hit a rock bottom in order to figure out how to turn that shit around. And that's all mindset. It doesn't matter what your resources is. It matters how resourceful you are, right? How much you can learn and grow and how efficient and effective you can be. But the buck always stops with your mindset, with what you're willing to do, sacrifice, how hard you're willing to work.
It's that conversation that has buried itself in your unconscious. You've had it so many fucking times, you don't even hear it anymore, right? It's the when you brush your teeth, you don't sit there and go, I wonder if I'm going to go 72 times up and 72 times down and 44 times side to side. You don't do that. It's muscle memory, right? And so muscle memory is built by language, physiology, focus, emotion, multiplied times intensity and time, right? And that's the formula for how we became how we became who we are right now, which is getting us the results that we have, and how you shift out of that if you're going to change. And it takes a lot of different things. I'm not a loser. I'm not this. I'm not that. I'm not that. You know, instead of saying I'm not, what are you? If you could put it into a map and say, here's what I am. So I stopped saying, you know, how do I protect myself? That was my primary question, right? What I built was, how can I be a powerful world changer that enjoys every breath? And I started just pounding that shit in my body, into my voice, and running and yelling it at the top of my voice, and anchoring in something that I wanted to choose, because most of us are living somebody else's belief system and pattern that was programmed by whoever programmed them, and we're just living out their weaknesses and their projections and their acceptance of something that they were less than the fucking magic that they were born to be, right? The fucking randomness of the fact that you're drawing breath right now makes you a fucking champion. You know what I mean? You're drawing breath. You're a champion.
Yeah. We're not here to just take up space, right?
No, fuck that. No, we're not here to fucking take up space. We're here to light space on fucking fire. You know, and to do that with love, and to do that with compassion, and to rescue those people who need rescued because we can, not because we're fucking hiding. Like we've got little girls, 2 million little girls and little boys are being traded for sex, right now for $60 to $30 to $20 a time. You know, you have domestic violence occurrence every 11 minutes. You have somebody dying of hunger every 1, 2, 3, 4 seconds. Somebody just dropped dead, not of hunger related, but of starvation, right? You have somebody that has just gotten a death sentence called cancer, and they're scared to death, and their world just fell apart, right? And they don't have anybody there with them. Like, you have all of this shit that's going on in the world, and we want to worry about, well, I wonder what somebody thinks about me. You know, I wonder if my boss is going to be nice to me. Fuck that. You take control. We take control. I've taken control. You've taken control of that weakness portion of us, and we bend it to our will. We fucking bend the entire universe to our will, not the other way around. We don't hide. Because these girls need us to show up. These little boys need us to show up. These women that are being that are prisoners in their own home. They need men and women that are strong enough to be able to step out of their own poor me bullshit to come to the motherfucking rescue.
Well, the only way that we can do that is if we take care of ourselves first, right? It's like, the only way that we can step into a position of leadership, of service, is if we first lead ourselves. Is if we first wake up in the morning every fucking day and we look in the mirror and we say, today is the day that I'm going to lead myself first. I believe as leaders, you have to lead by actions, right? We've got the whole shirt, actions are greater than words. And I think at a very deep level, all of us that are in this group, that are on a video like this, that are a part of this community, are called to serve. But the only way that we can serve to our full capacity is if we're overflowing. And that requires an insatiable hunger to learn, to grow, and to be the best that we can be. And when you can lead yourself first, then you earn the right to lead other people. And if you can lead another person and another person, the next thing you know, you can lead a community. And then you can lead anyone. But it starts with allowing your actions to speak louder than your words and leading yourself first.
It's breaking that habit, man. There's nothing, I am convinced, Anthony, that there is nothing more difficult in this world than breaking a habit that allows us to feel comfortable. Right? We all talk about breaking out of the comfort zone and and everybody's like, yes, you got to break out of your comfort zone. And, you know, it's a great fortune cookie for people, but I am convinced that it is one of the most difficult things on the face of the planet, that if you don't know the formula and you don't give it all of your energy and you're not rewarding yourself with those small gains that you make, that you won't do it. You'll fall back into complacency.
100%. So getting back to Unstoppable Growth Conference, I mean, that's exactly what this is about, right? If we know that building habits and breaking habits are two of the most difficult things, if you think of it in terms of roadblocks, those are two of your biggest roadblocks to becoming unstoppable. The question then is, how the fuck do you break the habits that you know that you need to break? And how the fuck do you make the habits that you know you need to make?
Yeah.
How do you do it?
So here's so there's a formula, right? There's a formula. And if people want to write this down, it's physiology. How do you hold your body, right? Focus. What is your mind focused on most often? Language. What kind of language are you? Most importantly, to your point earlier, not the language that you're using outwardly, but the language you're using inwardly. It's like if you say, oh, life sucks or this, that, or the other, that's a common thing, but it's a reflection of how you feel about yourself on the inside. So capturing your physiology, how you hold in your body, like you can tell if people are hunched over and stressed out and they're tight and but if you're a fucking beast, you know what I mean? Like you just know you're like going to step out and like, ah! When Michael Jordan walked in the room the first time, that changed how I held my posture for fucking ever. Right? When I saw him at a conference, a news conference that I happened to be able to be in his presence, man, he walked in, bro, and it was like, boom, boom, boom. Like it was like, even if you didn't know that was Michael fucking Jordan, right? Yeah. You knew that motherfucker was somebody important because he was important in his own head, and his physiology spoke that shit way out loud. And everybody goes, oh, it's so, you're so cocky or you're so arrogant or whatever it is. That's about them, bro. Like 99% of the shit people say about you, it's about them anyway. All they're doing is projecting. So forget about it. So there's that. There's focus. What are you focused on constantly? My life isn't good. The president sucks. He's great. Like Obama, or Trump. Who they give? Like, when does any of those other people, other than creating an environment for you to thrive in, when have they ever mattered to you in your personal life? They don't. But we want to give it so much weight, right? Your language. What are you saying to yourself? I am a powerhouse. I win all the time. Everything I touch turns to gold. I love my life. I'm a powerful world changer that enjoys every breath, right? You take control of your language. And even if that shit's not true right now, you act as if, right? That's the as if principle that you hear about all the time. And it's not act as if you're fucking rich or you're whatever. That just makes you a douchebag. What I'm saying is act as if you are stepping into that superhero that you were fucking born to be. Look at this. I'm the fucking Bald Avenger. It's a fucking dumb name. You know what I mean? Like, it's a fucking dumb name. But you know what? I trademarked that shit. That red ape up there is what happens when you fuck with my family. When you fuck with little girls and little boys around this world, when you fuck with and you're beating the shit out of your wife, when you fuck with controlling food in the world, guess who fucking shows up? The Bald fucking Avenger. I turned into a red ape. My daughter, when she was 3 or 4 years old, we were walking around the zoo and she saw one of the big apes, right? The silverback apes. And she goes, "Daddy, it's you." Right? And so it just became a thing. It just became a thing because fuck it. Why not? Anthony, people are going to hate us and they're going to love us when they don't even know us. And so this skin that we live in and this energy that we have and the life that we live, it's so packaged into something that makes other people feel good about themselves and okay to be around you, your wife, your husband, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your kids, your mom, your dad, your boss, the people that know you the best. We carefully craft this thing that allows me to get the paycheck, that allows me to get a little bit of love from somebody that's not me, right? That allows me to remain good in my mom or my dad's eyes. And we craft this thing that has no fucking bearing on who you are as a human being. It has no bearing on your power. It has no bearing on your potential. It has no bearing on your competence or your capabilities that are in this world. It masks it. It covers it up. Right. And it calcifies around this beating heart that all of us have to become great. And that doesn't mean money, fame, it just means being the great that we are, that we were meant to be.
Yeah. That's at the end of the day, I believe that is our greatest calling in life as men, especially, but everyone, men, women, kids, children, doesn't matter. I believe our greatest calling in life is to just be the best that we can be. That's why our whole motto is to do better every day, to learn from our mistakes, grow through our failures. And that the word grow in that sentence is so critical because most people, what do they say? I'm going through some shit. My life fucking sucks. I have to do this. I have to do that. I believe that every opportunity we can grow through. Every fucking challenge we can grow through. Every day we have the opportunity to grow through life. If you see life is happening for you, then you have the opportunity to grow through it. But most people see life as happening to them. They're the victim, right? And this is something that we talk about at Live Bearded and at Mink in the Morning is you can either be the victor in life or you can be the victim, but you can't be both. And the way that you approach the world and the way that you view things as happening to you or happening for you determines that. And it's so amazing. You know, we live in a world now that is so like over-connected and under-connected at the same time. It's really unbelievable. And I would say at this point in time in history, we probably, as a whole society, care more about the opinions and approvals of others than we ever have before. And what I love about you, Jason, and what I love about some of the people in your tribe is you guys don't give a fuck about what anybody thinks, about what anybody says. And I got to be honest with you, I admire that because there's very few people that are actually bringing truth to the world. Most people are bringing a half truth or a quarter truth or a mask, or they're being who they think that they should be, or the worst is being who they think the world wants them to be. You know, I had a buddy one time say, if you don't know who you are, the world will misinform you. It will tell you who you need to be.
That's fucking, say that again, bro. Say that again. I want everybody to hear that twice.
If you don't know who you are, if you don't define and consciously choose who you want to be, the world is going to misinform you of who you need to be.
Oof, I love that. How many people in this world, brother, are being misinformed about who they are, right? I see it so often. That's such a beautiful saying that you know, that and we remain like locked up. It's like, all right, what if we like, and part of the evolution of, because I lived in that same package, right? I was doing shit because I thought other people thought, and one day I woke up and I go, I'm doing shit like, bro, I made a bunch of money and I was living in a great house and I had the fucking cars and the boats and all the shit. And I woke up one day and I'm like, fuck this. I'm doing all of this. I put myself in debt. This was back before I actually built wealth. I was making money, but I didn't build wealth. And I was looking around and I'm going, I don't like any of these motherfuckers. And they, truth be told, they didn't like me, right? How could they? I didn't like myself. And I looked at it and then I lost everything. And I got to a place where, you know, where all of that shit was gone. And I'd made a bunch of people a bunch of money. And one day I woke up, I hadn't eaten in 3 days. And I made a bunch of phone calls from a fucking payphone, right? to say, hey guys, like just Western Union me $10. Not one fucking person out of like, I don't know how many, 9 or 10 phone calls I made. They're all too busy. Not that they didn't have the money. They're too busy. And that told me that when I built myself back up that second time, that I was going to surround, Anthony Mink loves me no matter how much I'm worth. Right? No matter how much I'm worth, it doesn't matter, because we're like-minded, we're heart-centered people, and we've lifted each other up in times of trouble and celebrated in times of celebration. And you and Spence, you and Spence have a great, that great brotherhood. And I think that the world is missing that. And so 99% of the people that are watching this are judging and making, they feel bad, whatever. And they're making money to impress people that they don't fucking like. They're putting themselves in debt to impress people that don't care about them and that talk shit about them behind their back anyway. Right? The only conversation that matters about who you are is the one that's going on in your head, and that you're in alignment with integrity-based principles. Right? Integrity-based principles, they're in the Bible, they're in the Quran, they're in the Buddha. There's all kinds of different places where you can find what those patterns are. Find a man or a woman who is living the life that you want to live, and ask them questions, right? That's how I built my entire life. I just figured out one day, Jason Cisneros doing it his way was a fucking disaster. The fucking disaster, bro. Cheated on my wife, bankruptcy, lost my money, lost other people's money. It was just this wreck of being out of integrity, right? And when I decided that I was coming back, I found men, specifically for me, older men that were living in integrity, that were telling the truth, that were respectable in their communities. And I modeled everything, and I asked them questions, and I took out their fucking trash if they needed it. You know what I'm saying? To learn how to be that person. Because my adopted father was an asshole that went to prison for attempted murder of me and my mom after many, many years, when I was 17 years old, but after many years of torture and breaking my nose 12, 13, 14 times, that kind of stuff. Where do you go to learn when you've learned that the way to deal with everything is by violence and lying and manipulating and breaking the law and abuse and all that other kind of stuff? Where do you go? You go to men that are out there that like reside in Live Bearded, and you model their behavior, and you change your own motherfucking behavior, because that's why it doesn't matter. We could go through and have 10,000 people, and their behavior is what is determining their bank account, their level of joy, their relationships, their physical health. It's their behavior. And so if you don't modify that, doesn't matter how much you modify your mindset, if it doesn't impact your behavior, you're not going to get anything different.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly believe that, like you said, success in anything is a behavior, right? And I have a list that's called I'm Successful When. And it goes like this. I'm successful when I wake up early in the morning. I'm successful when I feed my body healthy foods. I'm successful when I work out. I'm successful when I love on people. I'm successful when I'm reading and learning and growing. And you make a list of actions that you can do. And then if you want to be really fucking ninja, you make a list that says, I'm not successful when I, and you create a list of all of the negative habits that you have and understand that you're going to do that shit. You're going to fuck up. You're going to make mistakes. Have that list there, have both of them as guardrails. And I really believe to get back on to like the idea of unstoppable and growth and conferences and like, how do we get out of the trap of making the mistakes that we've made? How do we build new habits? How do we create the life that we want to live? It's by designing guardrails in our lives that keep us moving in the right direction, and then seeking out people who have walked the road that we want to walk, who know the road ahead. It's like, if you want to go someplace, you pull up fucking Google and you type in the address, and Google fucking tells you the route that you need to take. And that's, in a lot of ways, as simple as life can be. The difficult part is just finding your Google. Like, who has walked the road that you want to walk? Who has the type of relationship that you want to have? Who has the type of career or business? Or who's the type of parent or friend or brother? And ask them, like Jason said, simply, like, hey, how did you make this happen? Anybody who has authentically created shit in their life wants to share.
They love sharing, bro. They love sharing.
Absolutely. So tell them, for all my Live Bearded guys out there, and for all of everybody out there, how can they learn more about this Unstoppable Growth Conference? Like, where can they go? What can they learn?
I put a link in there. It's unstoppablегc.com. You'll see the amazing speakers we got. And remember, this is kind of hand chosen. We had this was an event, and I got tired of bitching about it. And a buddy of mine called me up and he said, "Hey, got this event. I'd like you to partner with me on it." And so we did. And I said, okay, the biggest thing here is I don't want to pay a big $1 million fee to bring in somebody who's going to come in and say shit that they've said to everybody else. What I want to do is I want the people that are making a difference in this world, that are actually doing things. We've got, just for an example, we've got a guy by the name of Ed Sullivan who launched Oprah's career, turned around CBS. He has launched, he worked for Disney. He launched Fox News, all kind. Some people like that, some people don't. But 208 of the news channels that are out there are his branding and marketing. He got bored and decided to go out there and get involved with commodities, green beans. Took a small company and helped him become hundreds of millions of dollars successful. One of the greatest minds in marketing ever. And nobody's ever heard of him, and he's never done a presentation to teach people what he does or how he thinks. Never. And he's one of the greats. Like I say, he launched Oprah's career. So he's going to be there.
That's amazing.
Paul Blanchard, these are people that have actually done real things, made real mistakes, and the world doesn't really know who they are except for people who are genuinely successful. Right. So it's going to be a great thing. We've got some awards that we're going to give away. You guys were nominated for one by our people. You guys were nominated for an Excellence in Business award, and which is great. That was all Misfit Nation. They put in all of the people that they admire and that have given back to Misfit Nation, and that are living an integrity-based world. So that's how livebearded.com got nominated for that. So that's it. It's February 27th, 28th, 29th. The actual conference is on the 28th in Naples, Florida. And, if they're interested, they can always reach out to me. They can PM me or DM me. Danielle, I don't know if she's on here or not, but she's my EA. You can also reach out to her. But, just send us a message. If people are interested and they want to go, just let us know. We'll put something special together for the Live Bearded Brotherhood.
Awesome, brother.
And what we'll do, by the way, is out of, if 10 people come, what I'll do is I will draw a name out of that, and one of them will be for free. How's that?
Amazing. I love it.
Cool.
Yeah. No, man, I appreciate you jumping on and wanting to share. And we had some technical difficulties in the beginning, which is always seems to be what happens. But
well, it's interesting, Anthony, that, again, I don't know how to sell shit online. Like you guys are the fucking masters, like of selling and building an online business. I feel kind of like, what with me selling my companies, all that kind of shit. I'm like in a position. I can't even remember the last time I sold something. Like I make deals, right? Those deals go down, but I can't remember the last time and now I'm like, we've got a $600 ticket and a $900 ticket or some shit like that. And I'm like, I don't know how to sell this shit, but it's something I believe in. And it's something that's really like reinvigorated and almost added years back to my life, because I'm fired up, man. I'm fired up to build this platform. And, the first one's going to go how it's going to go. And then the second one's going to go how it goes. But I've never built or touched any business that didn't gradually become the best in its industry or in its space. So I'm looking forward to that. And I would love to have Live Bearded Brotherhood as a core component, like a launch, to be with us from the very beginning as we launch this unstoppable brand.
Absolutely. Cool. Well, guys, if you're still out there, reach out to them. Go to growunstoppablegc.com. And if you have any questions, hit me up personally. If you want to know what all this is about, shoot me a DM, hit me up on Facebook, whatever. I'm going to do everything in my power to be there hanging out and to support Jason. I know Spence is going to do the same thing, and it could be a really cool place for us to get together and hang out as brothers from all over the country.
Amen, brother. Well, that was fun. I mean, we overcame some technology. We figured it out, right? So everybody that's watching this, Facebook doesn't let you bring anybody on for a Facebook Live anymore. You got to do it through a third-party technology, and
so I'm gonna have to get this so we can do it on my Facebook page.
100%, brother. 100%, man. I love you, buddy. You're the best. Spence, I know you're watching, brother. Love you too. I need to fly over and get you and Spence, and we got a Dom Fawcett. Like, you guys are all in the same neighborhood, and we'll just go take over his radio station, and we'll just take over the show, right? We'll just take over the show.
I love it.
All right, buddy.
All right, man. Talk to you soon. Have a good night.
You too, bro. Peace.